Hey guys, so today I'll be doing my first video on positions. I'll be explaining how to play as a fullback, all the basic positioning tips that I can give you. So we'll be working with the red team here, where the red team, each team is in 4-3-3. It's a little disorganized because I was messing around with them. But yeah, let's get started. So when you have the ball as a fullback, there's a lot of things you can do, which is why I like it. If you have space, as your wingers here, and if you have space, you can always dribble up with the ball until you get closed down by him, and you can do whatever else. But if you do not have space, or you dribble up and you start getting closed down, you should always have your winger here to play into, and then he can go in and you can make the overlap. Or let's say you play it into him and he just bumps you back in. You also have your center midfield, which is a great player to play in, because he can turn and you can start playmaking here and go on to goal. Or let's say you play back to your midfield and he's blocked off too. If he's blocked off, if you're close to your striker, you can obviously play it to him. Or normally you're not this close to your striker, you can try to ping it over for a goal scoring opportunity. So let's say everything is taken here, they're just pressing you tight here. Everyone's just pressing you and it's too tight, you can't do anything. You can always play back to your center back, and he can go from there, playing it out of the back, here, right? And if you're closer to the net, like if you're over here and they're pressing you tight, you can always play back to your goalkeeper if you have that range. So let's say if your winger has the ball, over here, what you want to do is support him, right? Get wide and support him. Well, no, not get wide, but just support him here. So if you play it back, he can play it back to you. If you weren't there, he wouldn't be an option. So try to support him as you can. And also, if you see your winger going inside over here, you can always try to do the overlap, where he provide him with the passing opportunity, and you can go in and you can cross it, and then your striker can come and score, or like that. I'm not gonna move every piece to make a new set piece, so that's why I'm just moving the essential positions. So yeah, making an overlap is really useful because it overloads this defender here and the center back, because now there's two people to look for and he doesn't know where to go. So when you do the overlap, it overloads it, and then you can go here, you can get a good goal scoring opportunity. But if you do it overlap and then it doesn't work out, like they cover you fast, you can always play back to your winger or your center midfield. If your winger is inside and your center midfield plays up, you can always play back to your winger. And now in this state, you're actually a winger. So here you would take on the position as a winger, and if they get the ball back, then you would have to return all the way, so this the other winger of the other team doesn't get a good position in. So here, let's say this fullback has the ball, now will be this guy. So as a fullback, you don't want to just stay back, you want to push up with the team as you can. So here you would be a little more tucked in my opinion, or if they pass it back to you, and you can just pass it back here, and you can provide a goal scoring opportunity here. This guy was supposed to be a winger, I just forgot about him. Here. Here, as same thing, if he tucks in, if the winger here tucks in and they play it back, you can always make the overlap, and this guy can either play it into you, far post, or you can just ping it to you here. I see this a lot, like midfielders ping it to the right back and left backs, and this creates a good chance for the team. Now let's go back all the way here. Bring every player back, let's make it a little more tighter, right? And let's bring these guys back too. And these guys are offside, we don't want that. So when the goalkeeper has the ball on your team, you want to get it as wide as possible here, so there's more spaces exploited in this guy. If you're inside, there's no passing opportunity here, because this winger just going to be here, right? Here. This winger just going to be here, and if you pass it to the center back, you see the center back can turn. And if you're here, there's no passing lane, but if you're here, he can easily pass it to you here. and the winger can't cover that. Or if he goes in, then you can pass it here and then here. Pass it to your midfielder, and then he can make a 1-2 to you. But if you're inside, there's not really a passing option. So I think you should always be at the edge of the line. The edge, the outline is always your friend as a fullback. You always want to try to be outside, right? When you get the ball here, boom. Unless they're rotating over this side, then you do want to tuck in a little bit here, provide support, and then make go here, and then boom, ping. As I said earlier. But yeah, getting wide as a fullback when you have the ball is always a great idea. Even here, when your winger has the ball, you get wide, or you make the overlap, or you stay back and support, you know. Making the overlap isn't on every play, you know. If there's no space here, let's say the wingers are here, if there's no space here, and let's say you pass it to the winger, and there's the other fullback is on him, right? If you make an overlap, he can't pass it to you here, because he has a man on him, he can't turn. So if you make an overlap, this is kind of useless because now he doesn't have a passing option to you. So sometimes it's better to just provide support here rather than to make the overlap or underlap. Unless you play it into him and then he just passes back to you real quick here and then you just make a run into the space, you know. But usually when he has a man on him, you want to try to stay back and provide support. You know, it's also possible that he gets the ball and he goes outside. Like he gets the ball and he goes outside. You can also do an underlap here, which is you make an overlap from the inside. That's called an underlap, and you can play it back to you. Or this defender gets dragged and this guy comes in, you know, and then you can get a good goal scoring opportunity. Another thing I see often is like you play it to your winger, and the winger has a man on him and he starts coming back all the way. If he's coming back and this guy is following him and he's not passing it to you, as he's coming back, you can make the overlap and play as a winger, and now he's the fullback. Now this guy gets dragged out of position, rather he follows him or he stays back. So when the winger comes back, he's coming back towards you, you can go overlap and play as the winger here. Alright, and now you're the winger and he's the fullback. Let's go back. Another thing I want to cover is crossing. So let's say you're a fullback and you get in a good overlapping situation. Let's just say it is an offside for the sake of the video. And then you make an overlap, and you're on a one-on-one, or you're just free here. You can make a move and then you cross it. You want to cross it right in the middle when people can get it. You want to look up and cross it to your striker or winger or overlapping fullback. Right, you want to cross it in as when you make the overlap. And if there's no opportunities, you can still play back here. So you know, that's basically it. That's the position of a fullback. We'll do the overview of what I just said, the whole video. So first of all, your passing options are you can play it back to the goalkeeper if it's too tight. If it's not tight, you can pass it to your center midfield and he can go from here, he can switch it, right? Or you pass it to your winger, and if your winger is getting pressed, you can provide a support option for him and he passes it back to you. You don't want to overlap in this case. But if you pass it and he's coming back this way, he's dribbling this way, you go up and he becomes the fullback now, which is a good rotation that I see a lot in the pro games. So yeah, you can play it back here, you can play it to your center midfield, or you can even play it to your center back if it says to show up. You can also ping it to your striker or the overlapping fullback on the other side, here. When the goalkeeper has the ball, you want to get wide as possible, so there's a passing lane, even as when your center back is, you want to get wide and up, so you provide a passing lane. Don't go super up, but just go here. Don't go too much depth in the line here, but just come here, and then he can pass it to you, and there's more space. Now this guy has to come all the way here than rather if you were here, right? So yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, make the overlaps here. So if you pass it to your winger, and he doesn't have man on him, he goes in the inside, make the overlap, you can do an overload and cross it in. Boom. Or if he comes in the outside with the ball, drags this guy in, you can always try to make the underlap and provide a supporting play for him. You know, like that. Or you can always stay back and get the ball back and just move it back. So that's basically it as a center, as a fullback, you know. That's why it's important to have good stamina. A lot of speed would be useful. It's not totally useful, but it's definitely an advantage to have good speed. Good technical ability to take these one-on-ones. If you make the overlap here, you know, you get past this guy and you're a good scoring opportunity. I think the most important one will be crossing and defending. Like, I didn't talk a lot about defending, but when they have the ball as a fullback, you always want to stay tucked in, right? Let's say the other fullback makes an overlapping run. Where's my other defender? Oh, here it is. So let's say they're all coming in, right? They have the ball now. That's the ball. And the other fullback makes an overlapping run, and your winger isn't returning. You don't want to go out and chase this fullback, because then this creates space and everyone gets disorganized, right? Even if he doesn't make over, he's like over here, you don't want to press out and get out of position. You want to always stay on the inside. Like, you can let them go on the outside. Like, he's pressing you. You can let them go on the outside, right? You can let them go on the outside here. Don't ever commit and try to push him on the inside. Always push him on the outside so he gets over here, right? He gets over here, and then now he doesn't have an option. You're pressing him down, and you don't let him get the cross in, right? Because if you step out, he has an option to shoot. If you step out of position, he has an option to shoot or to pass it here. He has lots of options to score, and it's dangerous. So you always want to push him out. You want to stay tucked in, not go out. Even if he's making the overlap, you let him make the overlap. As soon as he passes it, you want to follow him after, right? And then your midfielders and center backs should do the job. If he passes back, you come back here. Passes it here. You want to go back and tuck out of there. But never ever would I say to tuck out, like to go out of your position like this before he passes it, because then you can just dribble in. So always stay on the inside, and once he goes on the outside, then you can go try to cover him. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening, and let me know what you think.